Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
So today I thought I'd talk about something a little different with regards to the Ripple and XRP ecosystem. This also extends out, guys, to the XLM Stellar ecosystem as well. So if you're a Stellar hodler, you might be interested in this video too. I'm going to talk a little bit about Ripple and XRP, and by extension Stellar XLM, and how even years ago now, I think about 7 years ago, XRP, at least the thought was as such, was going to be set up to transfer value in precious metals, so gold and silver transfers. Now, if you believe in the Great Reset and you believe in all the theories surrounding that, I guess you would have foreseen where we are today with regards to Russia, with regards to China and India, other countries quietly building up their gold reserves over the last several years. And just a few weeks ago, Russia announced that they are going to be tying the ruble to gold. So there's a lot of moving parts here. The most interesting thing that I found, though, was this old article from back in 2015, which I will get to in a second. First, I wanted to start this off with Bill's tweet here. This is Danelle Dixon of the Stellar Foundation. Now, Bill is tweeting about this with regards to the lawsuit. Her arguments as to why XLM is decentralized would apply with equal force to XRP, wouldn't they? XLM does get overshadowed due to the fact that it being forked of XRP and Jed's taco stand behavior, but here XLM in Congress, smooth sailing. This tweeted out by Exanon24 here on Twitter. Just listen to what Danelle Dixon has to say about XLM.
Openness and interoperability in web technologies. It's those same policy priorities that drew me to blockchain, an industry that I believe can learn from past mistakes made in other areas of web development. Stellar is an open, permissionless, decentralized network that is optimized for payments. There is no single entity, including SDF, that controls the code base of the network or its growth. You don't need permission to use this technology. Just like the underpinnings of the internet, it is ready and available for use to anyone. The Stellar platform is a pioneer of tokenization, optimized for fiat-backed asset issuance before stablecoin was even a word. Over the last few years, an ecosystem of businesses and users have built use cases around Stellar-based stablecoins due to their incredible utility to solve many of the problems we see in today's payment landscape.
Okay, so there's about a minute of Stellar's Danelle Dixon talking about the XLM token, why it would be, or why it should be considered decentralized. Of course, XLM in a lot of ways a mirror image of XRP. Bill down here just stating that Danelle Dixon is from the Stellar Development Foundation. She is the CEO. Roger McCarthy down here saying Stellar XLM is a pioneer of tokenization only because they copied the code base of the XRPL. Well, we know the history there, right? Jed McCaleb was the original creator of the XRPL, and then he used his own work to create another payment tool, namely XLM. I'm not going to get into the differences or if it was right or not right in this particular video, but I did want to show you guys this clip of Danelle Dixon talking about XLM in Congress, and just to this point here, what Bill has mentioned, her arguments as to why XLM is decentralized would apply with equal force to XRP, something that I think we've all thought about before. So now let's talk about XLM and XRP with regards to transferring value, namely in the form of precious metals. Now, we're living in a world right now where inflation has taken hold because of a variety of different factors, some of which have derived, or largely have derived, from the beer flu pandemic that has set the economy into a tailspin of unpredictability. And over the last several years, and now more and more, we're hearing about this more and more, countries are seeing the need to safeguard themselves against the traditional fiat currencies with precious metals. So I'm just going to go over a few of these articles here, not going to go into them in detail, but I think they're important to mention just to set up my point later on. So China makes fresh forays into gold mining sector in Tajikistan, and this was from about a week ago. Chinese investors often get generous tax breaks in the country. So China, particularly China, is going into other countries and mining for gold. Why would they be mining for gold? Well, Obviously, they are seeing the need for gold, realizing its potential and how valuable it could be down the road. So the enterprise Talco Gold would produce up to 2.2 tons of gold and 21,000 tons of antimony annually, according to government officials. China is by far Tajikistan's main source of foreign direct investment. In 2021, businessmen from China invested more than $211 million in the country, an amount that accounted for nearly 62% of the global FDI figure. Those funds mainly went towards the extraction and processing of lead, zinc, and tin ores, and mining of precious and semi-precious gems and metals. So in particular, China looking to mine not just gold, but other precious metals in other countries. The biggest focus for them, though, is, of course, gold in Tajikistan. I also wanted to just bring up this. Back from March of this year, India imports 651.24 tons of gold in the financial year of 2020-2021. Says the government. India imported 651.24 tons of gold in the fiscal year of 2020-2021 as compared to 719.94 tons in the year ago period, the government said on Wednesday in a written reply to the Lok Sabha Minister of State for Commerce and Industry. Anupriya Patel said that the imports stood at 982.71 tons in the fiscal year of 2018-2019. Replying to another question, she informed that the import of toys, games, sports equipment from China is showing a declining trend. So, not too concerned about the imports of toys and sports equipment. Just wanted to focus on the gold here. You guys can see the importing numbers, although they have slipped a little bit in 2020, 2021. We don't have the actual figures for the following year. However, you can see how India is also deciding to focus on gold. All this to me speaks volumes considering what we know about Russia and the moves that they recently made last month. So Russia just made a case for owning gold and nobody noticed. So just down here, here's a strong argument for adding some gold bullion to your retirement portfolio right now. And it comes courtesy of Pavel Zavalny, the head of Russian parliament. Zavalny spoke last week on the subject of all the economic and financial sanctions being levied against Russia following the invasion of Ukraine. Most of the coverage of his remarks implied that Russia might respond to the sanctions by switching from US dollars to Bitcoin for international trade. So not only is Russia eyeing gold, they're also eyeing Bitcoin. But a look at the transcript being reported shows something quite different. Zavalny added Bitcoin only at the end of a long list of other currency and trading options, almost as an afterthought. As you might expect, not only is Bitcoin new, ridiculously volatile, widely open to manipulation, and a massive drain on energy in a world facing an energy crisis, but it also offers no guarantee of privacy, so this article being critical of Bitcoin. However, that's not the point that I wanted to focus on. Much more interestingly was Zavalny's main point, even though it has been mostly overlooked. If other countries want to buy oil, gas, and other resources, or anything else from Russia, he said, let them pay in either hard currency, and this is gold for us, or pay as it is convenient for us, this is the national currency. In other words, Russia is happy to accept your national currency, yuan, lira, ringgits, or whatever, or rubles, or hard currency, and for them that is no longer the US dollar. What does it mean, guys? It means gold, so Russia looking like it is going to the gold standard. The dollar ceases to be a means of payment for us. It has lost all interest for us, and he calls the greenback no better than candy wrappers. What will this mean? Maybe nothing, or maybe a lot, especially if Russia's lead is followed by countries such as China, India, and others. And I just mentioned India and China in these last two articles here. Countries that may not welcome Washington's ability to control the global financial system through its monopoly power over the global reserve currency. So I talked about this a little bit in videos that I did last month when this news was officially announced. Russia's gold reserves buy Putin a few options. So here's just another article from late March 2022. Russia's gold stash has some value for Moscow, though Western sanctions have frozen a chunk of the country's foreign exchange reserves following its invasion of Ukraine. Vladimir Putin's regime has about $140 billion, guys, of the yellow metal that is beyond the direct reach of sanctions. So another article just kind of stating how much gold Russia actually has and how this is going to make them a powerhouse, because not only do they have the gold, they also have the resources, namely the oil, namely the energy that they are trading or selling to other countries. And just down here, a senior White House official last week estimated bullion makes about 20% of the country's central bank's overall reserves. To make use of the hoard, Russia would likely have to physically move the gold beyond its borders, however. That's why the United States and its allies last week moved to close the loophole. The Treasury Department said any transactions involving gold held by the Russian central bank is subject to existing sanctions, which means anyone who helps convert precious metals into US dollars could also face penalties. So they're upping the game, they're upping the ante, And so what does this mean for Russia? What does this mean for the rest of the world? Well, guys, a few weeks ago, I just did a video about Putin's gold-backed ruble, what it could mean for Ripple and XRP, and what we're seeing with regards to other world governments. Guys, I'll play you guys a clip. It's a little lengthy, but I thought it was important just to kind of remind you guys where we stand here in the middle of all this. Here's a clip from a video I did back on March 29th. Listen to this. This also from BondCrypt XRP. The gold industry is betting that the blockchain will help to keep illicit bullion bars out of the international market. So we're also hearing about this. London Bullion Market Association and the World Gold Council are developing a digital system to track gold through the supply chain. The organization said in a joint statement on Monday, using a blockchain-backed ledger, the Gold Bar Integrity Program will capture the transaction history of bullion from mine to vault.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.